heard it online and you think there's no rival? You want it for your collection, but have you heard it on vinyl? Hello and welcome to But Have You Heard It on Vinyl with myself, Simon, and over there, Danny. Hello, Danny.
Hello, Simon. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you doing? What have you been up to? Anything fun?
I have been fannying about with our new YouTube channel.
Wonderful. That's great. Another thing that we don't know what we're doing.
So for the people out there, from the next episode, you will be able to listen to the show on YouTube, and there will be more details to come.
Brilliant.
That's where we are. That's where we're at.
Oh, it sounds like... Oh, no. We've actually done something apart from going, well, watch telly. Didn't really move. Just glad I'm alive.
Just glad to be alive.
Oh, that's fair enough. Well, what have I been up to? I went up to Birmingham the other day. Went and saw Biffy Clyro live, which were really, really good. I was surprised. Not surprised. As I said, I wasn't so keen on their last record, but live, the songs translate really well. I wasn't the youngest person at the concert. There seemed to be quite a varied crowd there, to be honest. Round by me, it was like I actually felt a little bit young. I was surprised.
I was very surprised when you sent me photos. I was surprised because we've talked about Biffy before, and I just kind of felt they were just like, because I don't pay attention to them. I thought they were just kind of gone. But I mean, that was a packed room. That was a packed room.
Yeah, they sold out the arena in the centre of Birmingham. But no, it was really good. It was really weird because they started off like literally underneath a fucking tent, and me and my missus was like going, right, okay. What's going on here? Because they played the whole first song under this tent, and we were like, okay, this is unusual, a bit different. And then it slowly lifts, and then the tent sort of becomes part of the stage. So like certain bits of it drop, and they put projections on it, and it's like a tiered stage. And they had two violinists who were doing all that sort of stuff. So it was good. It was a big show. We kind of like the fact that they don't do encores. They just fucking...
I love that. I love when a band does that.
Yeah, just did a set and that was the end of it. Just finished, bye-bye.
Here's this stuff and fuck off, they're gone.
Yeah, they're not really a band for talking in between songs too much. A little bit of a hello, how you doing, but...
I like it even more.
Yeah, no.
That's like a man after my own heart.
Yeah, they didn't do any of that stuff. No introductions, no like extended bits. It was good. It was nice and varied. So I did have a good time. I didn't see the support acts because I was still eating pizza when they were on, but
Voice choice.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was very good. So yeah.
Birmingham as a whole, how did you find it?
Yeah, it was alright. I was literally down that main street by what's it called? Near where the arena is and Sea Life and stuff. But we had a little quick wander down. We went and saw the Ozzy Osbourne exhibition at the art thing, which takes 2 minutes. There's really not much there, is it?
Just a few gold discs and a couple of awards and things.
And a pair of shoes, and then everything else was just prints, wasn't it, really? So we saw that, went and saw the little chair thingy and got a photo there, and then spent way longer than we should have trying to find the mural, because if you go on Google Maps it says it's one place, but it's actually we kind of walked past it about 4 times without realising.
Yeah.
But I found it, so that was nice. So no, it was good. It was very chilled. No, it was good. It was a good day. So that's what I've been up to. And then today's episode we are looking at the 50th anniversary, 50
whole years of
Station to Station, bud, for David Bowie. It's great. Wazza. No, brilliant. I can't. 50 years. That's incredible.
I know. Same year I was born.
Ah, yeah. Oh no, it's brilliant. No, so I'm really excited about that.
I'm telling a lie. The year after I was 76, wasn't it? Oh, God.
Yeah, 76.
Worse now.
Same year that my brother was born. We got his 50th this year.
Awesome album, but we'll get to that.
It is. I've realised it is definitely one of my favourites by them. So no, we got that one to talk about, and we've got our usual stuff. The vinyl alphabet, which we're up to V, our normal plays, and then just a bit of waffle off the cuff stuff at the end like we normally do. So let's crack on. What have you had on your turntable this week?
I've bought a few new things actually.
Wonderful.
All new boys. First off, This is somebody we spoke about recently, not on the pod, but we've talked about him. And I was kind of like, I'm not into him at all. It's Jeff Buckley's Grace.
I'm a huge fan.
Yeah. Well, it started from the conversation we had, because I was like, no, you know what, I just find the idea of it's that, I can't be bothered. You know, some things just seem stodgy and you can't be bothered.
Yeah.
I remember hearing, I think it was Lilac Wine, maybe Mojo Pin at the time, and thinking, oh, no, that's a bit stodgy. But I mean, you know, this is like 30 years ago. So times change, obviously your palate changes and stuff. And I thought, do you know what? I'm just going to listen. I went for a walk one morning, listened to it, and it was just perfect. It is an awesome album. So I take my words back. Do you know, I hadn't even heard his version of Hallelujah. I only knew it from fucking X Factor or whatever it's called. So that blew my mind. That's just, God, that's so emotional. So yeah, I had to go and buy the vinyl of that because
I know where you're coming from though, because like the first time I ever heard him was a flatmate who he had, I want to say, a live DVD, which was the History of a White Man, something of a White Boy. I can't remember what it's called now. There's basically a live album and the thing, and that's the first time I heard him, and it's a lot that he's a lot heavier in that, and he's got more of a band. It's a lot more rocking, and then like he's I think he's trying to, like, it's just a heavier vibe that he has going on live. So I only knew that one. So when I actually finally heard Grace, I found it very light in comparison, and I was a bit like, right, I'm not quite sure about this. But as you said, repeated listenings just opens it up to what it is, which is brilliant.
It's nice occasionally to try an album and it just hits you, and especially when it's such an old album. I think at the time I was just maybe, I mean, it was what, 94 or 95, I want to say. What was I listening to then? I was listening to a lot of Therapy, a lot of Metallica, a lot of Velvet Underground, which we'll come back to later, and just other things, and this just didn't fit it. And I remember just hearing it and thinking, it's a bit dreary. I like, fast and noise and stuff. And
yeah.
So yeah, to be fair, I was looking for a nice shiny original copy on. I was looking at for a specific pressing, but they're bloody expensive. So I literally just Googled best pressing of Jeff Buckley Grace, and the general reaction was any pressing really, brand new, old, whatever. They all sound great. So I just picked up a new copy from. I forget where I had this from. I think it was Juno. That's about right. It's always Juno, isn't it?
It is always Juno.
And it does, and I'm glad I got this, because for a new copy it's pristine, and for the silent parts, and because he's got such a gospelly, beautiful voice, you want to hear that without any crackles or hiss or age, So sounds lovely, absolutely fantastic album. Such a shame we only got one. I know they released an album of his bits and bobs for his next album.
Dario the Sweetheart or something.
Yeah, something like that.
I've got it.
Sketches for My Sweetheart, the Drunk.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. It's got some moments. I don't think it has the charm of Grace, but knowing what he was like he could have changed how it was. Because if you hear his little EPs he did before Grace, he was doing versions of songs that was on Grace, and he's so improvisational. What is on the end product might not be what he ends up with, because he probably changes it so many times. He's such a good guitarist, so yeah, it'd be interesting.
I think I will try that, because the Elliott Smith album they released after Elliott died got a little bit of criticism for that's not what he would have wanted. It was incomplete and all that, but it's fucking phenomenal. It's a brilliant album.
Yeah.
So whether it's what Elliott wanted or not, he died. He left us with this. We get to hear it. It's amazing. So, yeah, I might try the Sketches album.
Yeah, give it a
go. My next one, again, another new buy, and again, this is brand new. I got this from a fair, and this is a band. Shockingly, I do not know why. Well, I do a little bit. I've never ever listened. I've only ever heard one song by this band. I've never heard anything else, and they've just always gone past me. And they really should have been right in my wheelhouse. And this is "Live Through This" by Hole.
Oh yeah.
As a young teenager with Kurt dead and Courtney very much the evil witch, I was very much sold on the evil witch side, so I just never really bothered with that sort of thing, which is stupid, really, because I don't know why I bothered trying this album. It must have just come up on a Spotify thing. Listen to it, and it's fucking phenomenal. It's an absolute straight away classic grunge album. I can't believe I've never ever heard anything but Celebrity Skin, the track by Hole, and that's nothing like anything on here.
No, it's not.
And if you're led to believe the press, she was very much the female Nirvana sort of thing, and she's really not. She's a great writer. She works with great writers. She's got a great team around her, and this is just an outstanding album. I can't get enough of this, and I'm kind of glad I left it this long because I get to discover it afresh. Whereas other people have
it's a very raw album.
Everybody else has like 30 years of it, and this is brand new to me, which is it's so strange. But yeah, absolutely superb album. Really, really glad I got that.
It does stand out because Pretty on the Inside, the one before, I think is very much in that. It's not the greatest album.
Right, girl.
Yeah,
in that. Sort
it reminds me a little.
It's fine, but it's not. It's not this.
No, it reminds me a little bit. Babes in Toyland. It's a very noisy album. And Celebrity Skin is, for me, just too slick. It's half of it's written by Billy Corgan, and I think it's lots of outside writers, and it's just a very slick album and not representative. I think this one's kind of a nice pure album for her in some ways. Like, it's got the angst, it's got the prettiness, but it's got a little bit of warts and all, which I prefer.
Yeah. But tidied up enough to still be rough.
Yeah. No, it's a commercial album to an extent, but you can still hear a little bit still of the early stuff, but you can hear where she's going with the later things as well. And a screaming voice on it is absolutely brilliant. The first song, is it Violet? I love that song. I love it.
And if I'd have paid attention at the time, because this came out like literally, I want to say weeks after Kurt died.
It was very close, yeah.
And I feel like it wasn't, it was already, set up for that to happen without, they didn't know he was going to die. And I think if I'd have picked up on it at the time, it would have been a real sort of, would have brought a closure to the whole era and would have really helped. So, but then, like I say, I'm listening to it fresh. It's nice to pick up something from that era that I've never heard and can appreciate now, 30 years after the fact.
Nah, cool. No, it's a great album. Great album.
And then on the same day, we popped to Bridge Records in Brown Hills. I mentioned it before. And I mentioned on the pod before, I think I need to get a Queen album. And I didn't know where to start. I had the greatest hits sort of thing, but I didn't know a lot of their early stuff. And Mr. Ennis popped up and said, Jazz. He was very emphatic. Get Jazz, you'll be surprised. Great album. So I found a second-hand copy of that album, Jazz.
Cool.
Which is from 78.
Right, okay.
This is a really decent press as well. Decent press. Sounds fantastic. It's got a nice embossed sleeve. Really good copy. £10 I paid for this. Couldn't believe it. Sleeve sort of VG plus, but you expect it anything at that age. But I'm very surprised by it. It's got Bicycle Race on. It's got
the Fat Bottom Girls, is that on it?
Don't Stop Me Now, Big Fat and Bottom Girls. So some of the songs I knew, the rest of it's just mental. And it makes you realise where, number one, I don't understand why they were so popular and commercial, because some of it's just mad. It's kind of like, there's a lot of, you can understand where people like Mr. Bungle are coming from, and people like that just jumping from one genre to the next. And well, the opening track, Mustafa, straight away, you're just like, fucking hell, what's this? This is Queen. And then again, Fat Bottom Girls, you get that immune to songs because you just know them, they're just tattooed on your brain. It's very rarely you sit down and think, Fat Bottom Girls, hang on a minute. Or Bicycle, I want to ride my bicycle, I want to ride my bike. What the fuck is that? What sort of song is that? It's fucking brilliant. But you just know them from when you was a kid. Just popular songs, and I don't know why. But yeah, absolutely great. I'm really glad I picked it up as well.
The hits everybody knows, isn't it? It's the ones, the album tracks, I think they do get lost because they're their live set is always the hits, or there was was the hits, and
I
then
think that's it. Yeah,
there's probably great ones like things like it wasn't until Metallica did Stone Cold Crazy that you realise they had this sort of thrashy, riffy thing on earlier albums. You wouldn't have really seen it. You would have gone, oh, okay. But also, I think with Queen, they were one of those ones which were like innovators. There was no rules to their songs, so they
not at all.
They very much pushed the bounds and were like a band doing a 4-part opera. Would you really expect that around the time of Sabbath and all these sort of things? Going, oh yeah, we'll do this.
Of course, and it's more Roger Taylor that's the straight ahead, more rocker type songs, I think. But Freddie's just all over the place. Brian's again all over the place, and Brian's guitar sound is just awesome. It always was. It's got an amazing sound.
Who's the producer on those albums? Is it them?
It's that Roy.
Roy Thomas.
Roy Baker Thomas, something like that.
Yeah.
I have a feeling he did all, if not most of theirs, didn't he?
I think so. I want to say I've met him once at a sound engineering course.
It says a Queen Roy Thomas Baker production.
I think I've met him. I remember he was very, very nice, but I don't know much. Might not be him. I know the person I was talking to recorded...
Roy.
Well, I remember he was telling us how he recorded We Will Rock You. So I'm guessing it's the same bloke. And he brought in this tiny, tiny boombox to show us how to mix. And goes, I mix on this. If it sounds good on this, when you put it on big speakers, it sounds amazing. And he wasn't wrong.
Yeah. No, they do sound fantastic. Especially for the 70s as well.
Cool.
So that was my little haul. That was just after Christmas. That was went to a record fair in where was it? Birmingham, I want to say. Wasn't great, and then popped to Bridge and picked up jazz. So yeah, that was a good day. Good day.
Cool. Awesome. Well, I've had lots of things coming in. I've had quite a few new things, and I've just been listening to some other stuff which is just in my collection. So. I'll get to the main one at the end because I know that we can talk about it for a while, but I'll start off with some of them were just ones which I ordered just before Christmas and they finally came in. So the first one I managed to get hold of was Depeche Mode, Some Great Reward. Yeah, I'm very much, after a certain period I play a lot of it, and then their first 4 albums I don't play too much, to be honest. I'm not the hugest fan of Speak and Spell. I find A Broken Frame hit and miss. Construction Time, not so much. I do listen to that a little bit more. And same with this one. Like, they're the ones which, if I'm going to go back to those first 4, it's normally those 2. So I end up buying it on vinyl. So this is just one of the recent pressings. I think, which one does it say on here? I think it's like 2016 repress. So it's nice and shiny. Probably the same as when you got your Exciter one, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I do like this album. The more I play it, the more I really do enjoy it. You can see that they were sort of starting to push bounds and get a bit of a harder sound on this one compared to their earlier ones. This is 1984, and this one's recorded at Huzzah, which is the same as the Bowie ones. So I think so they decided to do it because of the Bowie albums and very much influenced by it. Produced by Gareth Jones again, who did the previous one, and I think they did at least the next 1 or 2 with him. So, it's cool. Like, obviously inside, they're starting to get very much into their Berlin and German sort of leather look as well. They're very fetishy and all in leather. Martin Gore isn't helping himself at all.
You will never see a bunch of more awkward white boys in leather in your life.
No, so...
Spotty oiks in leather.
Yeah, like... kind of unbelievable how young David, like the singer, looks. Garman, he just looks like he's 12. But no, it's good because I think what's his name, Alan Wilder, has slowly getting more and more involved with everything by this point. Like, by the sounds of it, the rest of the band were pissing around, got some ideas, and left basically Alan to do the rest of the work while they were out in fetish bars and stuff. So, but it's a good one. It's got some of the big hits on it. It's got People of People, which was one of the first things to actually chart over in America. So I think they started getting a bit more noticed over there. Master and Servant, that was another huge one. But then it's got like the just solo piano one, Somebody, with Martin Gore and Alan Wilder on it. But There's not really too much of a bad track on it. I think
Blasphemous Rumours on that one.
Yeah, that's the final track.
Yeah, that's
Something to Do, which it starts with me and Lie to Me. I like all those ones. There's a couple of ones which are probably not. I don't think they're filler to the extent. They're just lesser tracks, but.
They're just finding their feet, aren't they? It's a step up from Broken Frame. It's not as good as the next one. So it's very much stepping. It's very slow progress, those first few albums, until they got sort of music for the masses, and then it was like leaps and bounds.
Yeah, but no, I really enjoyed it.
It's not a bad one. It's not a bad one.
No, I enjoyed that one. So I was pleased with getting that. Another one, I think I got this on cheap actually, and I haven't listened to it in ages, was The Replacements. Because they're just one of these bands I kind of want to love, but I always find the albums a bit half and half. This is Let It Be.
Oh, do you know, I'm so glad you said that, because I've got 3 Replacements CDs, and I'd like them. I've got a Vine, I've got a record as well. I like them, but I've never gone over the edge with them. I can't quite get on board fanboy style, but there's some great songs there. But they're so revered. And I'm kind of like, no, I'm not there for that. They're just, I don't think they're that great, but they've got some good songs.
Yeah, I tried watching some of their stuff when they did Coachella, and they had Josh Freese on drums, and they were all back for a bit, and then they all fell apart. And like, obviously Tommy Stinton for a while was in Guns N' Roses and stuff. But like, I like the album. I play it and I enjoy it, but it's just like you start getting into. I find this album, you start getting into a bit of it, and then they just throw a song in. And I go, oh, really? Okay. Like the Kiss cover's all right, but I don't feel I need it there.
It's pretty much straight cover, isn't it?
Little bit, yeah. And you can see with this one, I think they're trying to branch out a bit more, because I think the ones previous were a bit more their straight garagey ones, and a bit more hardcore. In some ways, I think their first one's really punky, and then the next one's a little bit less. And then this one, I think they're trying different things, because there's like pianos. They've got what's his name, Peter Buck. He's on this one. He does the guitar solo on the first song, I Will Dare. And I think he was actually lined up to produce it, and ended up getting someone else to do it. So it's one of those ones. I do enjoy it, and I played it a few times because I was like, oh yeah, it's not too bad. But as you said, I kind of feel like I should really get into them, but there's just something that's lacking. Like, I've tried this one. I played Tim the other day, and it's the same one. There's a few good songs, and then I kind of go, oh, yeah, it's all right.
I think Tim's probably my favourite of the ones I've got. I just find with, what's his name, the main guy?
Tim Westerberg.
Paul Westerberg.
Paul Westerberg, sorry.
For him, because like you say, the first couple of ones are really scrappy, sort of punky, and they've got the charm and all that, but I think they're more about seeing them live.
Yeah.
But I feel like he's just battling with himself, because he's quite clearly a very, very gifted songwriter. And I think he was battling against that because he just wanted to get drunk and roll about with the boys. And on the occasion when he thinks, no, he does push himself, and then he kind of shies away from it again. So they're kind of very uneven for me, because you've got some absolute classic rock and roll songs there, because he can write them, and then some of them are just kind of thrashy throwaways, because it's kind of like he's fighting against himself.
Yeah, it's a half and half album. Like, I think Let It Be is the one that I know the best. I enjoy it, but as you said, I've tried to go fanboy in some ways and listen to more of them, and then I end up going, I'm a bit bored now, and I put something else on. So they never quite grip me. But I'm glad I got it on vinyl. I don't know if I'm ever going to buy any more stuff. When I stream them, I kind of go, oh yeah, but I don't know. Anyway, so that one was nice to listen to anyway. But yeah, there's just something stopping me, a bit like you, I guess. I don't know what it is. But everyone goes nuts for them.
Yeah, because it's that American thing. It's that time, it's that era, and we didn't. Some bands just don't translate to our landscape and our culture, and I feel like these are one of them. And you can't pick up on the vibe. So, for example, I'm not putting them on a level or anything, but like when the Libertines came out over here, it was just that grubby sort of East End sort of thing, and you kind of understand it, because it's part of the war, the Beefeater costumes and that, but that doesn't translate to America, so they're not going to see that. And there's a lot of British comedy elements and that in them and stuff like that, British films and things, and that does not translate to the States. And likewise, Replacements kind of doesn't. We don't get it. You can appreciate the music, but we don't get the whole concept and the whole band. If that makes any sense at all. I'm probably just waffling, but yeah, they'd be a great band to get into. It's got a decent catalogue. We've got about 7 or 8 albums, I want to say.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, there was the early.
So it'd be great for it to click, because to get all them and just be into it would be fantastic. But like I say, I've got 2. I think I've got 3.
I keep delving back on them. As I said, Tim, I enjoyed more. I think this. Something to welcome, something nice to meet you or something. That's another
Pleased
one.
to meet me, yeah.
Pleased to meet. That's the one. Yeah, that one's not too. I've not heard the last one.
That's the one I've got. No, and I've got Tim, and Tim's probably my favourite of the few. He's got Bastards of Young on it, which is absolute.
No, I don't know. At the moment, I'll dip in and out. I'll see if anything comes of it. But yeah, so that was that one. And because we were talking about them on the last podcast, saying they got a new album coming out, Anthrax, I ended up going. I'm just going to finish off because I'm literally out of my collection for vinyl. I'm only missing Fistful of Metal and Attack of the Killer Bees, which was the first thing I ever heard by them, was that compilation. So that will happen at one point. But I ended up finding a really cheap copy, brand new. So it's one of the reissues from only a couple of years ago of Fistful of Metal, with possibly one of the worst album covers ever. I don't know. It's bad.
It's not badly drawn. It's just the angle of the fist. Where's it coming? Where's it coming from? It's bizarre.
And I think I saw some documentary, their own little one about it, and I think that Neil Turbin was going, well, it's like if I hold a hand and try and punch through it, that's what you're getting, but still doesn't really make sense. But anyway, it's a great album. I do really, really like this one. It's not Spreading the Disease, which I think is probably one of my favourite ones of that earlier period, along with Persistent at Time. But this one, it shows that they've got the chops. Like, it's one of those, like, it's not as heavy, I don't think, as Kill 'Em All or like Slayer's first one, or even Megadeth's, because it's because I think it's the vocals. He's got such a high range on this one, but it's still got some amazing songs on it. You got Death Rider, Metal Thrashing Mad. They got a cover of Alice Cooper. Then it's I'm 18. Panic, which I love. Panic. I think that's one of their sort of best early ones. And like, to be honest, there's not really a bad one on it. It's just a proper old school 80s thrash album. I don't think they quite turned into the band that they've become at this point, but you can see where they're going with it. But yeah, that was it. So this one's like a double. It's a gatefold one. Splatter. I think it's Megaforce. So I think they came out on Megaforce in America, Music for Nations, and Roadrunner over here in Europe. So
that's right.
But it's good. Like, it's the only album with Turbin and Danny Lilker on it before they both got ejected.
Because we were children, we called him Neil Turnip. Neil Turnip.
No, I really enjoy it. I've like, it's old school sort of thing. I just love it. Like, so it's not the best vocals. I kind of like the fact that when they went and did The Greater of Two Evils, which has got John Bush singing the earlier stuff, they redid a couple of songs off this album, and they're heavy, and with the growlier vocals, they do sound absolutely fantastic. But this one is a bit of history. Like, the big four, their debut albums were pretty amazing for the time. Even Slayer's one, Show No Mercies. Not the greatest album, but I do like it.
Or cover. Another one with a bad cover.
Yeah, isn't it like a weird... It's like a weird Satanist type beast, isn't it? At the front with swords.
Something. Come on, let's have you.
I know, I just think all of them, they're not the best, are they? You've got Metallica's one, which is just a hammer with some blood. That's probably the one...
Which in hindsight isn't that bad.
In comparison, Megadeth's one's terrible. It's just a skull with some grapes and shite round it.
Yeah.
But no, I have quite enjoyed playing this. Right, now my last 2 buys come from you. So only on the last podcast in our alphabet, you basically put the suggestion of UFO, and you said Obsession. So of course, like all good friends and listeners of the podcast, I went straight out and started listening to every album other than the one that you suggested.
Fucking, what do they know? What are the albums around it?
I know. Fucking, it was this one of those moments, like, you suggested it, and I was like, oh, okay, brilliant. I don't really know UFO. I should probably listen to some. And then, literally, I listened. But not that one. I listened to Phenomenon. I went on to Force It, and all these other ones, and then I just remember, like, messaging you, going, oh, listen to this one. And you're probably sitting there going, what about the one I said?
The one I picked specifically, because it's great.
in the end, I have also listened to Obsession, and I bought it. I do very much agree. But the first two I got Phenomenon, which is their first one, purely because I went to a charity shop and it was £10 for the very, very recent National Album Day version, so it's on Sky Blue. And it's cool. You can hear that it's very much a transition album, because from what I haven't heard them, from what I know, their original first two albums are very more psychedelic and not well produced and a bit more sort of meandering. They're not quite as focused. When this one, which has got Michael Schenker has joined them after they sort of nabbed him from Scorpions. This one has got two absolutely classics on it, which is Doctor Doctor and Rock Bottom.
But two absolute classic songs, full stop, not just classic UFO songs that just unbelievable that you just got them sandwiched on your first album.
Yeah, they're on the first side, aren't they? The other songs aren't bad, but they're a little bit hit and miss. Like, I don't think they're quite up to the albums after this one. But this one's really good. I think it kind of shows that Schenker brought a bit of a harder edge to it and more focused songwriting, I think. And I think them themselves said that they decided to, like, right, we're going to put a bit more effort into this.
Yeah, they've got the template. They knew what they could do. And they just got better. Yeah,
like, honestly, thank you very much for introducing me. Because there's not, so far, I've listened to the 5 Schenker albums and the live one, and there's not a bad album in it. To be honest, the quality of the writing all the way through is just banging. It's really, really good.
And I think they sound good. I think they're very well produced.
Yeah, I do like the producer. I don't know who the producer is on the next one, Fawcett, and the one after that. I think it's the same person, Leo Lyons, or what it is. They're really, really good. Like I said, they're just focused songwriting, and I am a convert to Mr. Schenker's soloing. He is just amazing. It's so fluid. I love how he plays. It just sort of rolls in from one thing to the other, and like he says himself in some of the interviews, like his soloing is just him, how he puts himself across. Like, he doesn't really care so much about the songwriting. He just wants to know where he can put his solos in and stuff, which I think the band said he used to just send them instrumentals which went on for ages with him just solo over it, and they could then go, all right, we'll just chop this bit and that'll be a verse, and we'll chop this bit and put it here, and then find him in an area for him to go nuts for a bit, and it seems to work.
Well, they really serve the song. It's not like he's just going mad all over it. He's got such a sense of melody, and they're always interesting, and they always grab you in the way that a singer would, or a vocal would. They're just so interesting and entertaining, and Andy carries on through his solo work as well.
Yeah, well, Doctor Doctor doesn't really have a solo. It's just got a melody line which comes in between the verses and the choruses and stuff, or after the chorus, sorry. And then Rock Bottom.
That's a peculiar song, really, Doctor Doctor, because it's all intro.
Yeah. It is.
It's all the build up to the song kicking in, and then it's not. It's a bit like Metallica with For Whom the Bell Tolls. It's a long intro, and then you got a couple of verses, and then it's done. It's a bit like that. It's a bit arse end backwards.
Yeah, but it's catchy as hell, so you can't really do it. Yeah, and then Rock Bottom,
brilliant.
You can see with that one, that's where he has his little. You the moment you hear that on the record, live, which since listening to the Strangers in the Night live album, you can see that's the bit where they just sort of stand back and go, "Go on, you've got 10 minutes, go around, do what you want to do," and he does.
And that riff, fuck.
And then later on, they go and get the second guitarist in as well. I can't remember his name. Raymond.
Paul Raymond.
And then I was listening to it the other day, and then he starts harmonising with him in that solo bit, and it just sort of crescendos before going back into the riff and finish it. So it's brilliant. Honestly, I've been so impressed with them, and they've kind of not come off my stereo since I've started listening. And because of that, I then went and decided to venture and bought a Schenker album as well, one of his solo ones. So I've gone for the debut UFO one with him, so I got his debut solo album with the Michael Schenker group. I really remember this album cover so much. I never heard it, but I just remember it in the shops. Is it him in a psychiatrist chair, or what is it, a dentistry chair? Something with. It's
a great sleeve. It's really really great of the era. I just found it striking to start with as a kid.
Yeah, because I think I listened to the Schenker stuff first, I think, before the UFO. And I really liked the vocalist. I thought he was really, really kind of amazing. But then I think in the end, Phil Mogg's voice is far and away the best out of the two.
Oh, absolutely.
So this one, from what I can tell, is him and currently just some session musicians for the first one. Is that right?
Yeah. From what I gather, I haven't looked at it for a long time or listened to it for a while, but yeah, I think that's the case.
Yeah. So my one, £12 off eBay, and it's an original pressing from 1980 on Fame, Chrysalis. So it's actually in quite good nick. The vinyl's in perfect condition. A little bit of wear and tear on the edges, but nothing too bad. But it sounds absolutely cracking. And it's a great album. I've really, really enjoyed it. I like the production on it. It sounds good. So it starts off with Armed and Ready.
That's just a staple. That's just a Schenker staple. That's the opening song of Intent.
Yeah, isn't that the opening one on the live album as well?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. So there's that one. It's got the other songs which I recognise from the live album that you put my way, like Cry for Nation, Victim of Illusion, and a few other ones. So, and then you got the what's it called? His little instrumental one on side 2, Into the Arena.
That's a staple. He actually, when I saw him a couple of years ago, he actually opened up with that.
Oh, okay, cool. But no, he has got the chops. It's very good. Like, yeah, there's a bit more keyboards in this one as well, I find. Who was it? Oh, Don Airey from Rainbow is the keyboardist on this one. But no, it was great. So because of that, I then checked out the one after this as well, which I don't mind. It's a lot more produced than this one. I like this one because it feels a little bit rawer than the second MSG one.
Yeah, I think with the second one, I think the first one's just called, it's known as Michael Schenker Group, and the second one's just MSG because they're not titled. And the second one is where he's got the band together, and he's got Cozy Powell, Chris Glenn from Sensational Alex Harvey Band,
and Paul Raymond
Paul Raymond from UFO. Yeah, so he's got a band together for that one. But what I would say about that album, the songs are very sluggish. But until you hear the Live at Budokan album, which is the one I keep telling you about, because that's the only Schenker album I think you ever need. I've got a lot of Schenker albums, but that was my ground zero for my entire life, that album. And although the first album, that Michael Schenker Group one you've just shown, the songs are great on that with the session musicians, they're well paced and all that, so they come across great live and the live album as well. But the songs from the second album suddenly get a life of their own, and they're so good. They pick the pace up. It's like it was just recorded too slow. They're all a bit sluggish, and in a live environment with the band and a bit more enthusiasm, they really come alive. And that double live album is just unbelievable for me.
Yeah.
And it's pence, absolute pence, and you can get it anywhere. And I love that because normally when I want a grail, invariably, if I get into something, I'll go online and look for it. It's normally stupid money. But to recommend that and be able to say to somebody confidently, you can get that for £5, you'll probably get that for £5 in the next shop you go into because it's everywhere.
No, I'll have a look. I will be picking that one up. So it's been a great... The two live albums, that one and Stranger is in the Night, amazing. Yeah. Really, really happy with those ones. So no, absolutely. You've introduced something new to me that at the moment I can't stop playing. So thank you ever so much.
You're very, very welcome. Next, Bob Dylan.
Okay, and I'll try and ignore that and
skip over that one.
On to this.
It's the vinyl alphabet.
And this week's alphabet letter is V. So what V's do we have?
I had a panic for a second then that it wasn't V. I was like, shit. But it is. I talked about these the other week. This is Velvet Underground with White Light, White Heat. I don't know. I don't listen to them very often anymore, but they are absolutely one of my all-time favourites. I did have 3 versions of this. I picked up a cheap reissue thing about 10 years ago, because I had it on CD for years. Picked up the vinyl about 10 years ago. I picked up all the albums in one fell swoop. And when I got them, they were on a label called Vinyl Lovers or something, and I didn't realise, you look at the track listing, they've just dropped random bonus tracks on, but not at the end, just randomly during the record, which pissed me off. Now, these are seminal albums, so imagine if you got like Sgt. Pepper and they dropped, I don't know, Hello Goodbye in halfway through, you'd be like, what the fuck? Great song, but what the fuck is that doing before she's leaving home, So... there's a song called Hey Mr. Rain, which is just awesome. but they just dropped it halfway through the album. It's like, just doesn't fit. Shouldn't be there. So I sacked that off. I think I sold it or gave it away. I went to a record fair and picked up another copy of it with an alternative sleeve. And again, great, but fairly knackered. I mean, it's a noisy, scratchy album anyway, but yeah, it doesn't sound great. So I had to then go and buy a third copy, which is, and this doesn't happen very often, this is how much I love this album. So this is a half-speed mastered version from Abbey Road, which came out in 2019. And this is it. It's my final copy. This is my go-to copy. Got the nice blue Verve Records label on it. But this album, weirdly, I play this probably more than the others. Having said that, I probably said that about the third album when we talked about it the other week. But this album is just the first album. You got Heroin and Venus in Furs and Waiting for the Man and everything on the debut. And then this came out and it's utterly feral. It's completely the other way. They just went into a studio, they played at stage volume, they just dragged all their stuff in. They couldn't record them properly because they're just petulant. No, we're not turning down, this is what we are, this is what we do. And they just had to make the most of what they were given. And it's noisy as fuck. And then of course it ends with Sister Ray, which is probably one of the most innovative songs ever. I know Joy Division used to play it live, and New Order played it live as well, weirdly. It's just 17 minutes of noise and mental and soloing and just mad. Yeah, this album, absolutely stunning. So, had to pull that out for a bit. There was another V I was going to pull out, and I thought, can't ignore Velvet Underground. They're one of my favourite bands, I can't ignore them again. So, Velvet Underground, White Light, White Heat, get it. But get the half-speed remastered version from Abbey Road.
Wonderful.
Lesson learned.
What did I go for? Well, I was like going for, I've got a few Vs, but I went for one which I just literally haven't paid for ages. And that was the Guns N' Roses offshoot, or when they didn't think that they were going to be coming back together. And that was Velvet Revolver, their first one, Contraband. I remember being a huge fan of it when it came out. I did wonder what it was going to be like, because I'm not the biggest fan of Scott. What's his name?
Oh, you know?
Yeah, I don't mind it. I like his vocals when he kind of does the more lower register singing. I'm not such a big fan when he's a bit more whiny and trying to be Johnny Rotten. I think he's got a great great voice when he does the sort of lower stuff. Do you know what I mean? He's got a nice timbre to it. There you go.
Yeah,
but he did suit this band. I think they needed someone who was kind of a bit, what's the word? Rock and roll, I guess the word. Like, they were going for it.
Yeah. And he was Mr. Rock and Roll.
It was never a band that I think that was going... It was always going to implode, I think. No matter what they thought, I think they were kind of going, oh yeah, we're back. But I think it was always going to have a rocky start. You've got someone who's been in and out of rehab. His own band has like collapsed enough times because of him. You've got Duff and, is it Dave? I think the other guitarist, Dave Kusher, who was from Wasted Youth and Suicidal Tendencies and things like that. They were clean. They were the only clean ones in the band, really. I think Scott was just got clean when he started, but he was still erratic. Slash was still on oxycodone and drinking, and like he was his own worst nightmare anyway. And they had Matt, the drummer, Matt Sorum. I think he was still on loads and loads of drugs. So they had people on drugs telling the singer, you can't be on drugs. So it was never going to work. So there's a lot of egos in it. But I thought the album was cracking. Very overlong. I think it could have been shortened. But I did enjoy it. I remember when it was coming out, I remember hearing Set Me Free, which was the first single, because that was on the Hulk soundtrack, and Sliver. I remember watching this video with Sliver and going, okay, I like this. It's not too bad. So I really enjoyed it. It came out. It was huge everywhere. It was like number one, both sides of the pond. That was like, yeah, so that was 2004. This is the 2014 10-year reissue on Music for Vinyl, which is good, heavy, all original, sort of like, they always do good packaging, nice, and it's not one of the numbered coloured ones, but it's great. So it's one of those ones I do enjoy. I kind of enjoyed the second album as well, but as I said, it was never destined to be. I think when they first started, it was them with Izzy. I think Izzy was part of it, and he just wanted to go and play little clubs.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think when it first started, it was called The Project at the time, and it had, Izzy was in and out of the sessions for a little bit, and his idea was him and Duff share vocals and they just play little clubs, and it'll be great. But obviously the rest of the band thinking, well, I think we actually want to earn some money and, you know, actually do a full worldwide tour and be professional. And then he kind of didn't come back one day and just did an Izzy, really. But no, he was part of the original ideas.
I can't imagine him with those songs.
I don't even know if those songs were written. I think there was other ones at the time. I think somewhere on YouTube there's like a whole documentary bit about it, because I think they were trying to find vocalists and stuff, and there was the whole search for Scott, and then Scott became free. And no, it's interesting. I think there's something on YouTube, so you can check it out. Then obviously when he left, they carried on searching for a vocalist for almost 2 or 3 years, and then it just sort of, they never did anything more with it. Corey Taylor almost joined. I think Miles Kennedy was originally lined up and he didn't want to do it and all that sort of stuff, and then he joined Slash's solo. But anyway, there you go. So Velvet Revolver. It's a great album. I do enjoy it. It's not Guns N' Roses, but I thought at the time they were good. I saw them live a couple of times. Saw them in Sydney. I saw them at Download, I think. They're a good rock and roll band. Like Slash stuff. It's never going to be terrible, I don't think.
What really annoys me, and it shouldn't, but it does, there was a single from the second album called, might be paraphrasing, She Builds Quick Machines.
Yeah.
What the fuck does that mean? That is the worst song titles I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, no.
That really irritates me. I don't know why.
Yeah, the second one, I don't think the choruses were always great, but it had some really solid songs on it as well. Libertad, that was the second one. Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. But yeah, his vocals, I'm half and half about him.
I really like Stone Temple Pilots, but to a point. The first 2 albums, really big fan of. After that, it kind of gets patchy. I don't know him that well. Tiny Music I like, but yeah, after that, I don't really know. So yeah, sort of 3 albums I like of his. One of them I love, Purple's amazing. But aside from that, now I can take him or leave him, like you said.
Yeah, but anyway, it was good. I think if they ever did Libertad on vinyl, I'd probably buy it as well, because I've got fond memories of that time. But there you go. So that was my ones. Letter V. We'll have to see what we got. What's the next letter now? W. Yeah, I'm all right with W. I've got some.
Wham. Yeah.
Wham. Yeah. That's it, really.
Wizard.
Yeah, Wham, Wizard. All the classics, mate. All the classics. All right, let's go to the feature. We got a feature, musical feature. Here comes our feature coming up now. Okay, and welcome back to the feature, which this time we're looking at the 50th anniversary of David Bowie's Station to Station, the 1976 album, originally out on RAC Records. RCA. What did I say? RAC.
All right, they'll come and fix your car. They won't sing you any songs.
Yeah, AA Records, RAC, all the classics. But yeah, out on RCA Records. This is the second album as his Thin White Duke era persona. It's basically a little bit of a prelude of what was to come with his Berlin trilogy. And as far as I know, at this point, he was just in the complete depths of his cocaine addiction. And I think he's quite happily said that he doesn't remember recording this album at all.
It's weird.
What else have we got here? It was top 5 in the UK and produced by Harry Maslin, who is famous for producing Barry Manilow's Mandy.
How bizarre.
Yeah.
He's weird because you see him in that era. Oh, is that it? Is that the feature done?
That's it.
We mention it and we walk away. In that era, like you say, with his coke dependency and stuff, you see pictures on with footage of him. And some junkie musicians just look the way they look, and it's like, oh God, he's a smackhead. He absolutely looks skeletal, and he makes me feel a bit queasy.
Yeah,
he looks so ill. So to produce this music while he's like that, it's just
he's almost translucent, wasn't he?
Oh really? They almost didn't have to use makeup on the movie.
No, because this is it. Because this was around the same time as he did The Man Who Fell to Earth. Which
that's right. Well, the sleeve is that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a frame from it. Somehow, even though he was completely off his chops and barely functioning, as he said himself, before cleaning up before the Berlin trilogy, it is. I think it's become probably one of my favourite albums by him. My favourite one is the Ziggy Stardust album, just because it's the one which I've got the most association with.
Yeah.
But this album, it was one of those ones that I bought again and started listening to again, and just I love it. It's just I can't find any faults with it personally. It's very concise. It's 6 songs.
Yeah.
And it's got one of my favourite songs ever, which the Melvins covered, which is the Station to Station.
The opening track.
Opening track, which is about 10 minutes long.
Yeah. 10 minutes 8 seconds, if you want to be precise.
Yeah, and I just love it. I love everything about it. It's got so many parts to it, and it just sort of builds. It's got that slow,
the slow
intro.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
And the fact that the Melvins did this, now the Melvins don't take covers lightly. They only cover songs that they're very respectful of, they love, and they're really sort of faithful to them. They don't fuck around with them too much. And yeah, it's a fairly faithful version that they've done, but it's just an amazing song. And this album generally is a perfect bridge between old David and, like you say, the Berlin thing and what was to come in the future. It's the only album that sounds like this.
Yeah, it's got a little tiny bit of the funk elements in some of the other songs that he
got
had
Golden
on.
Years, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, you got Golden Years, and then Word on a Wing, and the cover Wild is the Wind, which has still slightly got a bit of funk elements to it, and shows a little tiny bit of what he did in Young Americans. But then, yeah, Station to Station, it's a song. It doesn't sound like anything else. I love the fact it's got the chug, and then it just bursts into this huge chorus type thing, is it?
It speeds up, and yeah, it just gets momentum and just really gets going, doesn't it?
It does.
It's a slow build, and it doesn't rush. It takes its time. He's not in a rush to sell you a song with a chorus, because he's had a lot of hits at that point, and this is just very sort of, you've got to be patient with it. It's brilliant, and like you say, it's very singy at the end. It's what a song! What a song!
And it even talks about his cocaine addiction and stuff.
Yeah.
The whole song is, and then it's a crazy album in my mind. I think for him, it does open up because I think the last album was it's just song based. It's a very song album, I think, with Fame and Young Americans and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think this one just kind of, as I said, it's precursor to the Berlin one. I think it kind of showed to him that he could just. It's Bowie. He's David Bowie. I can do what I want. I was going to say, it might have, your Golden Years and some of these other ones, but doing, a 10-minute starting track.
Well, doing a 6-track album for a start.
Yeah, some people would have been, commercial suicide in those days, but he just went, no, this is what I'm doing. And I don't think I have a feeling the record labels were unsure, but he just went along with it, and then that convinced them that the next albums, because I don't think Low they wanted to do, because they were worried about the instrumental things, and it became one of his greatest albums ever, do you know what I mean?
I think with the Young Americans, he was very much... everything pre-Young Americans is very much of a sound. Apart from the first couple of albums, the Space Oddities and...
The David Bowie one, and then
but from
Man's Hold the World.
But from Ziggy through to Aladdin Sane, I want to say. Diamond Dog, sorry, yeah. They're kind of a theme.
Yeah, they were his glam era.
With Young Americans, it very much felt like, I want to do that. He's seen this, it's an American bandstand. He's enjoying America. He's like, I want to do that, so he did that. This album is very much, it felt, even though it's a stretch, it felt natural for him to accumulate the things he had learned and reach for some new future sounds. Like Station to Station is very much the future sort of Bowie. This is where I'm going. Golden Years, like you say, is sort of hangover from Young Americans. You take something like TVC 1.5 is kind of it's got that kind of standard sort of rock and roll-y type thing he's got, but then it goes into this sort of transcendental chorus which just comes out of nowhere, and it's, wow, where's that come from? And that feels very modern and ahead of its time. And then Stay and Wild is the Wind are really forward-thinking songs. So in 6 songs he says so much.
He does, yeah.
So it's a real statement album, I think.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind trying to find the Wild as the Wind, the original, because it's a cover in it from 50s, I think.
It's weird because you told me that, and I was like, is it? Oh God, of course it is. I'd forgotten about that. But yeah, it feels very much like a David song.
He's very good at making songs his own. I haven't heard too much of his cover stuff. I know he did some Pixies ones down the track. I've not really heard that sort of.
Oh, he was enamoured. He was enamoured by the Pixies, wasn't he?
But yeah, no, it's just good. Yeah, TV 1C 1.5. I just love that song. It's just such a great song.
That's amazing.
I just like the ordering of it. It flows just so well from Station to Station into Golden Years, because you've just got this epic song, and then it's just, I think Golden Years is my wife's favourite ever song. She loves Bowie, but that's her favourite song ever by him. And yeah, it's just great. Said it's very concise in some ways, and it's just such a striking album. I can't like, from being a musician myself, I just don't know how he puts this stuff together. It blows my mind.
I love how you can have a concept of, how can I put this? You can have a concept of, right, these songs, and you can look at these 6 songs and go, sort of stand back and go, yeah, I think that's it. I think I'm done. I think that's it. And for other people to be like, what? Because there must have been. Whereas now bands tend to, there's a lot of bands don't go with a concept. They just write a load of songs. They pick the best 10 or 12 or whatever, and that's the album. Whereas this is very much a vision, and it's picking up pieces and making it fit, and does that work? And I know it's only 6 tracks, but I think I'm good, boys. I think that sounds great. I'm done.
That tells my story that I want to tell in this album. Oh, it is, and as I said, for someone who, from himself, says he doesn't remember it, and he was completely burnt out. It's amazing that he put something together so absolutely amazing. Like, you've heard other artists who do similar stuff, and you can kind of go, "What the hell were they thinking?" And you can tell that they're just not there. But this one, you just wouldn't know. And then it's amazing then that, because I think he originally wanted to record this in Berlin, so he was already thinking about the whole Berlin krautrock thing, but I don't think he couldn't get booked in, so they ended up doing it in Los Angeles instead. But it's not even, you can't even call this a like a transitional album. Like, it was bringing him to the Berlin thing, because it just amazes me, this one. Like, I love the Berlin trilogy, but this one, to me, it just says a lot more. Like, I like Low. I like the big songs on the trilogy are just amazing, but I don't know what about this one. It really sort of, it just gets me a lot more. I don't know why.
The trilogy's an odd thing, because I mean, ultimately they're not all recorded in Berlin, so they're called the Berlin, but they're not.
No, because the last one isn't at all, is it?
No. Oh, I want to say like Switzerland or something.
Yeah.
Like Lodger. That's a great. Lodger is songs. That's great. I think the Berlin trilogy is put together as people view it as that, because there's a lot of instrumental stuff on there, which is what he was interested in. Very sort of futuristic sounding stuff. But because this is Station's a very heavily song-based album with a lot of great musical ideas, they sort of feed into what was going to happen with the Berlin trilogy. Because even then, on the Berlin trilogy, you've got Sound of Vision again. You could argue that harkens back to Young Americans, but it's still very forward-thinking, like Golden Years is. So it wasn't that much of a step away from this album, but it was certainly a step away. And this album, sort of, it was like a mark in the sand. And right, that bit's done. I've done the glam bit. I've done me Young Americans thing. I've made a weird movie, and now I'm a serious. It's weird to sort of say, but I'm a serious musician. I've played with the boys. I've done the whole shocking imagery thing. Now I just want to go in the studio and make make my future.
Yeah.
And it kind of starts with this, I think.
Yeah, I think his creativity just kind of went off the chain at this point.
That's drugs.
Because if you look at it, well, yeah, I guess so. His brain was scattered, so I think his songs were scattered, and he's managed to pull this stuff. Like, his lyrics on the album, just brilliant. I went to the exhibition, and I want to go to the V&A when I can get tickets over in London. But we did the one in Melbourne when it first opened, and it's just brilliant. It showed his little machine he's got where he used to go and put his lyrics in, and it chops it all up and then misses it around, and he used to go and use that to...
I was going to say that, because when did he start doing that? Was he doing that on this?
I'm not sure. It definitely wasn't on the earlier ones. I think it was sort of around this point onwards. He started using it as a tool to just chop up his songs and put them back together, and he wasn't so worried about telling a story necessarily, which I think his earlier ones, he came more from a songwriter's point of view, like telling a story. And then I think from these ones onwards, it wasn't so much needed. He doesn't mind being a bit more surreal and a bit more odd. And that could have just been because he was so much on drugs. He was like, well, if I just cut it up and I say this, then it'll be fine.
Because that is when, certainly from this album onwards, that's when Bowie started getting interesting for me. And for years and years, it was from this album through to Scary Monsters that I was a big fan. These albums, I think Low was the first one I got years ago, and I was really into that. Didn't pick up on all this till after. And it's only sort of maybe 3 or 4 years ago I started going back and listening to Hunky Dory I was a fan of. Ziggy I just never got, and it was only until about 2 or 3 years ago I like all this other stuff. What do I not like about Ziggy? And I got it, and it eventually clicked, and I love it now. But yeah, for a long time it was just the latter half of the 70s that I was really on board with, and it just shows how much of a different musician he was at the end of the decade, than he was at the start. And there's no other sort of artist that's done that trajectory. Even now, most bands that kind of come out and they're kind of a version of what they are, he just went all over the fucking place till he eventually found himself. And it turns out himself, he's a bit of a chameleon, and he perfected the art of stealing bits and bobs and making something forward thinking and using the right people. He had a brilliant knack for finding the right people to work with.
Well, yeah, because I think after this one, he got Tony Visconti back and Brian Eno, and that's when they started messing with sounds and messing with drum sound. Like this one, considering who they've got like a very known producer. I love the sound of it. It's very crisp. Everything's exactly where it needs to be. There's loads of space. You can hear everything that's going on. So from a engineer or sound point of view, I love the sound of this album. It's just so, it's perfect in my mind. Like it's so warm and welcoming, and it just works. One thing I will say about this album, which I guess you consider that it's not that he's from the generation before us, like he's from my mum and dad's generation. I just always think of Bowie as Bowie was huge. That's just what it is. Bowie was Bowie. But from what I can see, like, he was, until this sort of album and then past this, did he become this massive person that he was? Because I think even the record companies at the time were still going, I'm not sure we should put this out, or they're asking David Bowie to potentially change things. Oh, they might need another hit on this one, or like his glam era was just, that was like the, I guess, like, I don't want to put him in the same thing, but like the phenomenon that was going on at the moment with your Youngbloods and stuff, like he's just this new person who's out there, and everyone's going, oh, he's shocking, and he's got this look to him, and it's like he was just everywhere, and all these girls were swooning, and it was that kind of fever. But he was still an artist that they needed to sort of promote and basically make sure that market it. But then obviously he then threw away this big persona which was just everywhere and did Young Americans, which kind of, I think, probably threw a lot of people, because everyone was just used to the Starman, or whatever they were called, the Ziggy persona. So then to suddenly go, right, I'm doing this and now I'm going to do funk and John Lennon's going to play on it, that obviously helped it. But I think it threw a lot of people. I think the record company was suddenly like, no, but you've got this cash cow over here, and then you've just decided to do white man funk. What the hell are you thinking of? Because as I said, they were unsure about Station to Station to start with, and then the Berlin trilogy, they almost were like, well, can we have some songs and less of the instrumental? He proved them wrong, and he proved that his audience isn't as stupid, and people who listen to music are able to accept this stuff. He then became Bowie, I think, and then he was just,
it's weird, in, like you say, it's kind of our parents' generation, just the tail end of that. And most of the fans at the time will tell you their eye-opening moment was seeing him on Top of the Pops doing Starman. That was a big cultural thing, you know. Top of the Pops was massive, and to see that, everybody's like, what the fuck? And like, Ziggy was massive, everybody went to see him, and then to kill that off,
yeah,
and then, you know, within sort of 3-4 years, he's been through some other, you know, versions, and then he's come to Station, and he's gone to Lodger. It's just from the start of the decade when he's, ground control to Major Tom, and ending up with fucking John I'm Only Dancing. It's mad. It's I can't think of another artist. Even the Beatles. Essentially, Beatles were still a rock and roll group. They just got better and better songwriters. But who else did something so dramatic over such a short period of time? And ironically, his biggest top when he was like a massive, massive, mega global mega star, making huge amounts of money in the 80s, is when he was at his creative. Like he was in the gutter creatively. And all the creative stuff, which he was confidently making, low and lodger and everything, going, fuck yeah, this is what I'm doing. And then he goes to make, he's doing stadiums now all of a sudden in the 80s. He's looking all tanned and lovely and fit, and he's making really dog shit music. And then he starts to panic a bit in the 90s and starts going drum and bass. And, I don't think he kind of picked it up again until maybe this century. Yeah,
the Reality album was okay. I didn't mind that one.
I mean, weirdly, his last album and
last two albums, I think, brilliant.
I'm a bit divisive about it because Black Star's a great album, but a lot of it's wrapped up in nostalgia and grief because he dropped it and then he died. So a lot of people, oh my god, it's a good album. It's a really strong album. Is it as good as people saying it is? I don't think it quite is. I think there's just a lot of emotion mixed up in it, but it is a very good album.
Yeah,
but we are getting away from it a bit here. We're back to 1976 with this.
No, but it was. I think creatively for him, it was a standout album, and the packaging, the look of it was very stark and to the point. Like he basically. I don't know too well his touring history. I don't know what the tour was around this album, but it was quite a grandiose thing, really, to go along with the songs. I'm not sure.
I don't know if he did until he'd put Low and Heroes out. I've got the Stages triple live album, triple double, can't remember. And it leans on this album. It leans on the Berlin albums.
Okay, so that's this tour, is it? Okay.
I guess. I think it's maybe about 88. I think it was pre-Lodger, maybe. I can't think off the top of my head. But yeah, this album, like you say, with the imagery and everything. Now I've got two versions of this. I picked one.
My one's the half master one, which came out a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I've got that, and I bought this when I came back from Berlin. But I bought this one that I'm holding up for you now in Berlin because while I was there, I thought, I don't know what to buy. I'm going to buy the Berlin trilogy while I'm here. And this, because I knew it's loosely based with the Berlin trilogy. But this is a 1991 press, and it's called. It's on EMI, and it's got the Sound and Vision imprint, which I think is. I'm guessing. I think he signed with EMI in the 90s, and they reissued a series of his albums with the imprint of Sound and Vision as a concept. So that's this. And I got it back. It's a fairly decent copy. I think it's about €40 or something. It's that sleeve that you've got, that we've both got, where it's full colour and it's the full sleeve.
I think it's the same as the CD version. The CD version I got is the full colour one.
Okay, yeah. And it's a gatefold as well. It's a great, great thing. But what's pissed me off is I didn't realise till I got back. It's got the 6 songs, and then on side 1 you've got the first 5 tracks. On side 2 you've got the last track, which is Wild is the Wind, and then you've got a live version of Word on a Wing and Stay. So it's just like it's repeated a couple of songs that were earlier on, and the live versions. It's just a weird thing. I don't know why they've done that. So that annoyed me. So that's why then I was like, I'm gonna have to buy the regular reissue, which is the one that you've got, and that's the one I play.
And for 50 not necessarily to wrap up, but for 50 years on, it is seen by so many as just this huge album. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's one of, like, everyone these days wants to quote Bowie. Like, he was always big, and he was always a big influence on so many artists and everyone. But I just sort of felt for that period, it's like a little cornerstone one. It's one which then exploded and brought the rest of his sort of the next chapter. Do you know what I mean, to his career? And it's one that shouldn't really be overlooked. Like, I would be one to say that I overlooked it. I was very much focused in on the glam era, and then I kind of ignored a lot, and I knew the Let's Dance and Scary Monsters a bit more. And then I came back to this one and was like, why the hell have I missed this one out? It is just... I think it's either on par or it's my second favourite album with by him, because it's one that I keep on going back to and I'll always play. Station to Station, I think I could just have that on repeat and I'd be happy as an album. The rest of the songs are just like a bonus for me, but
it's like you say, you missed out on it, and I don't know how popular this album was at the time. From what I gather, Golden Years was a hit. So most of his albums have got a hit song on, but I don't know how well this album was received at the time. When you had...
It was top 5 is all I know.
Yeah, but you had, he's sort of an album a year kind of guy, so it's not like, say, for example, a Metallica these days will drop an album every 5, 6, even 8 years. You kind of have a long... If you're going to ignore one of their albums, go, oh, no, it's shit, you're going to have a long wait for the next one. With Bowie at the time, and he's releasing so much stuff, if that one kind of don't hit, you can kind of ignore that and get on with your life, and a few months later you're going to get another one. So I don't know whether there was much attention paid to it, whether it sold well, I don't know.
Well, if you've got to think about it, the period that it came out was middle of punk. So the Ramones had just released their first album. I think The Damned. That year you probably had The Clash and all that. So he brought out an album which it starts off with a 10-minute song at the point when the rest of the world is just suddenly discovering punk and all these like shorter stuff. So he definitely wasn't going with the trends.
Oh, absolutely not. And yet he influenced Ian Curtis and the like, who then went and took punk somewhere else.
It's great. The influence goes on, and like I said, we can gush about most of his albums, really. So I don't know what more to say about Station Station, but apart from it's cracking. If no one's never heard it, please go out, check them out, find an original or find one of the half-speed masters that we got, because I think they all sound just as good. I think apart from your one, which sounds like it's tagged on some extra stuff, brilliant. Yeah, absolutely amazing album. So glad we went to it. 50 years. Jesus Christ.
I know.
Okay, well, that's the end of our feature. Thank you very much, and let's go to the end waffle. It's the last bit of the podcast. It's the last part of the show. It's the last bit of our podcast before we have to go. Okay, and welcome back. And let's see, what have we got coming out? What have we sort of seen on the... Coming up on our radio, what have we seen coming out? Well, one thing that I've noticed, and I've messaged you, or actually, no, you sent me it, didn't you? The Fall. The Fall are finally reissuing
yes.
Four Heads Roll, which is probably one of my favourite albums, along with the Real 4 album. Probably the only two I'm going to rebuy on vinyl, if I'm honest. And that's coming out in March. I think Rough Trade have got like a splatter vinyl, but the rest of them are all just 2 LP black ones. So I'm really looking forward to that one. I like that period. That's the sort of period that I actually got into them. I got into them and saw them live on the Real New Fall album, and this was the one afterwards. So it's got one of the greatest songs by them, which is Blindness, which that bass line just gets me every time. So now it's exciting that they're finally reissuing it. It's really weird that one's just sort of only got put out at the time and then never seen again. But as you said, they've now... Is it Cherry Records or what they're called?
Cherry Red, yeah. They've got them all. They've got... I think it's all of them. They've pretty much done all of them. I am very much looking forward to this, and I will get this, but I am very, very irritated that they went, guess what? We're doing Four Heads Roll. We're like, yes, in 3.5 months' time. What? Tell me closer. Tell me at the start. Tell me at the end of Fair, but not bloody at the start of the year when I've got 3. It's the end of March, so it's almost April. Do I need that much lead time?
Well, yeah, because it's not even on streaming. It's just not anywhere. So you can't hear it.
No.
So, no, I remember that one. Wow, they still had the same writer and bassist who did the album before. His wife, is it Eleanor at the time? She's all over it with the keyboards, and they do a cover of I want to say The Move.
I Can Hear the Grass.
Yeah, I love that cover. I think it's great. So I this for me is my lineup of
Prime Fall.
Yeah, this is my favourite sort of fall period. I've seen them since this and they were good, but this is the one that they took me, and the drummer at the time and the guitarist Dave Pritchard, I think his name is Ben Pritchard. So this is my little period. So I'm really excited about this one.
They're this era is very sort of overlooked. You know, people talk about the classic fall era, and rightfully so. But this era, every album from sort of like the Real New Fall LP onwards is brilliant. You've got what's the one I picked up last year? Sublingual Tablet. You've got New Facts Emerge, Our Future, Your Clutter, which is brilliant. Imperial Wax Solvent. Oh, that's a superb album. And yeah, it's kind of just another fall album. But they're great fall albums.
I think the thing is with the earlier ones, with their classic and Mike Riley sort of period, it's hard to say, but I think they've got a very similar-ish sound around then.
Yeah.
And then I think there's a point in the 80s, obviously he got his other wife Bricks in it.
Bricks definitely brought something to it.
Yeah, it became a lot more poppy and a bit more palatable, a bit more easier to listen to, but it still had the lesser tracks where the tracks where he does just sort of go out and they're not as easy listening. But it did bring a bit more focus to some of the writing, and then like that carried on through, and then they just sort of went, right, we can do anything now. He kind of tried to incorporate electronics into it in the 90s, and that was a bit hit and miss.
I don't think the 90s was great. But he was very abrasive. He's a speed freak, and temperament and everything. So he lost a lot of bands in the 90s. He fell out with a lot of people in the 90s.
Yeah, and then 2000, I think they got I can't remember what his name is. I want to say something Ward on bass. He became the main writer. I think he went off and played with PJ Harvey and other people, but he really got them in, and they became the bit more of a force from then, and he refocused them, and very much looking forward to this one. What else did we see? Flea, Red Hot Chili Peppers, who haven't really done anything worthwhile talking about for a very long time. They're one of these bands I always go, I'll listen to the new album. The last two albums have been shit. They're like, let's get John back, and they're shit.
Release all of the songs in the world.
Yeah, they're not great.
Two double albums in 5 minutes. I mean, really.
Yeah. So the news that Flea is doing a solo album, I was a bit like, I'm not quite sure about this. But it wasn't what I was expecting, and I think you said the same, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it was...
it's kind of jazz.
I'll be honest. Yeah, I think it sounds... I've heard the two songs. They sound great. They're really sort of funky, sort of... I don't know who's on these. Tom York's on one of them.
Yeah, and Nick Cave.
And doing a good turn, to be fair. Does a good turn. The songs themselves, not my bag. But, yeah, interested to see that the dude has got something up his sleeve. Something interesting. Yeah,
I'm not going to buy it. But I was interested. Like he's done some really interesting collaborations, because obviously he was the bass player on the first Mars Volta album. He was the bass player on Anti-Mask. He was also did that Rocket from the Moon thing with Damon. So he did
the thing with Tom as well. Atoms for Peace.
Yeah, Atoms for Peace. So he does get out of the terribleness that is Red Hot Chili Peppers these days and does something musically worthwhile. And this one, I said, I'm not going to buy it, but I was really surprised. It's interesting. It wasn't what I was expecting. I think it's called Honora, which is named after his wife's mother, I think, his mother-in-law. Could be wrong. I think that's what I said. I think that's what I've read anyway. But I was interested. Like, good on him. It's different.
Good job she got a cool name, isn't it?
Yeah. She's Margaret.
and not like Deirdre or something. or Barbara. Steph.
But yes. So how's your new album, Babs?
Babs.
Really fits with the jazz. But
maybe that's why he went with his partner's mum's, because maybe his mum's got a really shit name.
So what are we going to call it? I was going to call it Maxine, but she's... I've been told to not go for that. So, yeah, we're going with this one. But, yeah, brilliant. So, no, it's nice. It's a bit different. So I was very interested by that one. I will give it a stream when it comes out. And then lastly, the last thing, I'll let you introduce, because you're way more...
Morrissey! Morrissey pisses off everybody, but I still love the guy. There's not a bad Morrissey album, contrary to popular belief. He's got a new album coming out 6th of March called...
Makeup is a Lie.
Makeup is a Lie, and he's released the title track, which I am the only person in the world... that has gone, actually, I really like that, because everybody else has gone...
What was my first...
Mate, that is shit.
That was my text to you, wasn't it?
Not even like, it's okay. Everybody's gone, mate, that is shit. And seriously, I think it's not one of his best, but I like it. It's a good song. It sounds good. I'm looking forward to the album. I've pre-ordered it.
That was literally what I texted you, wasn't it? It was like in between everything. Oh, I might be buying the Schenker thing. Oh, I got this. Oh, yeah, that Morrissey song. Fuck me, that shit. And you were like, I like it. Oh, okay.
I text Dennis. I said, the Morrissey shit. And I said, I really actually quite like it. And he just sent a message to me saying, David has left the conversation.
I know, but I don't know. He's hard work. He is. He's currently cancelling his way for his new tour. So what's he done today? He stubbed his foot. Oh, okay. What about tomorrow? Well, they probably won't get him some sort of vegan milk in, so he's decided not to do that one either. Oh, okay.
On the way to the venue, I saw somebody eating a hot dog. I'm playing in this town.
Yeah. Well, and then he's not playing that day because it's a Wednesday. But why did you book the gigs on the Wednesday? I don't know. He just said book everything. So his comeback trail is going well at the moment. Do people I wouldn't even leave the house. I would just sit there with a ticket and go, I'm just going to stay home. What's the point?
I would take new Morrissey or anything Morrissey any day over anything Johnny Marr throws out. Absolutely.
That's fair enough. I've never really paid much attention to him, to be honest. Wasn't he in Modest Mouse for a bit or something?
Yeah, he tends to join bands. You know, he gets on board with them. I remember he joined the Cribs, and at the time I was a big fan of the Cribs. They'd done a couple of albums that were really sort of, it's like 24 years ago now or something. I was a big fan of the Cribs, and then he joined. And it was like, what? It was like a granddad joining your band, and it was like, and it didn't even sound good. It just sounded like Johnny Marr doing his Johnny Marr thing all over Cribs songs. And they did an album with him, and then they kind of just quietly fucked him off. And I hear on the grapevine they're a bit like, no, it's weird. He overstayed his welcome sort of thing. Then he did the Modest Mouse thing. I know he did the in the 90s, and that was quite good apparently. I don't know a lot of the.
Okay.
But yeah, he did electronic, which was okay. I quite like some of that. And then he's just got his solo shit, which is just that, just dreary sort of bog standard indie landfill shit. Which, when you've been in the Smiths, is just devastating that somebody that was so great just plays just generic bland crap. Whereas Morrissey continues to be innovative and sounding like nobody else sounds and making great albums outside of such a classic band. So yeah, he's a dick. He pisses everybody off, but he's Morrissey. I love him. He'll have to do something really bad for me to fall out with him. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to the album.
I would say I'd be interested to hear what this new song sounds live, but no one's ever going to know.
The only thing I will say about it is
you ignored that one.
Yeah, well, you know, haters gonna hate. It's just a bit abrupt. It just kind of ends. It's like, oh, you could have put another thing there, but I like it.
As I said, I love his Year of Refusal album and a couple of ones around that period. I thought he was on a good run, and then I don't know what's happened to him. He just sort of annoyed me more. I don't know. I like the one after. Is it Years of Refusal? The one. What was the one after that one? I think it looks like. Is it? I don't know what it's called.
World Peace is none of your business.
Yeah, that's not too bad. A couple of songs on that weren't terrible. And I think I remember watching a live DVD. I don't know if it was like 20 or 30 years. It was like a anniversary thing since his first album or something. That was quite good. Like a greatest hits tour. Yeah, he's fine. Like, I think he worked well with Jerry Finn, who was more of a punk producer, because it brought a harder edge out to him. And I think he was gutted when he died, didn't he? But yeah, I will give it a listen. It's strange. I said, like the Smiths, I've never been a massive fanboy, but I do enjoy some of their stuff. Some of the earlier things, Hand in Glove, all those sort of songs off those albums, I love them. I do think the singles are great. Morrissey, I said, his solo stuff, I think I've got a best of somewhere, and I don't mind it. I don't hate it. I've not found one of his albums completely took me over. I love Your Arsenal, which has Mick Ronson on it and stuff. I think that one's really cool. Didn't he produce it as well?
Oh, top of my head, I don't know.
Yeah, but then it's the ones after that I've just never really paid too much attention to. But yeah, the Years of Refusal, I was on a plane from Sydney back here, and it was just on the stereo thing and the thing, and I tried it out, and I just was like, this is cracking. It sounded like he had intent. Is that the one where he's got a baby in his arm? That's a bit weird, isn't it? Yeah.
That's it, yeah. It's weird. It's another... For some reason, Morrissey albums are very, very expensive. Now, I've managed to acquire a few of them at a fairly decent price, but, you know, if I wanted to get... I was too late to pick up Years of Refusal at a decent price, and even though it's a fairly recent album, it's 100 plus quid. His last couple of albums are kind of like you can get them new and at a decent price on... Amazon or whatever, but yeah, the others, I mean, hundreds. I've got a copy of. He's got an album in the 90s called Maladjusted.
Yeah.
I picked up a copy for about 60 quid, and the other, I was just going for Discogs the other day. Just what's the median on that? I mean, what's for sale? I always check what things go for, and it's like 300 odd quid. Oh, why? Why? These are just unreasonable prices, and it's even. You know, if the first album of the 21st century, You Are the Quarry, that's hundreds of pounds. You can't get a copy of that. Ringleader again, it's sort of 100, 150 quid. Shocking. It's great as a collector, because the ones I've got, I'm like, ooh, rubbing my hands together for when, rainy day. But, yeah, it's mad.
Thing is, he's done such a good job of pissing off his record companies. They're probably reluctant to reissue them. They're like, no, well, considering they'd quite happily sit on an album, what's the chance of them going, well, we'll make some more money off his back catalogue? They've probably just gone, fuck him.
Well, what he did in the early 2000s, he reissued some of his earlier albums, but he put new sleeves on. They're very generic, shitty sleeves, and it's normally great for artwork, but they're very generic and crap typography and stuff. And he's He's removed some songs, added some songs on, played the track listing, and it's like, why have you done that? Like, Southpaw Grammar's a great album from the 90s, and he's gone and rejigged that with a completely different, inappropriate cover. It just doesn't suit the theme, and it's just, I don't know. It didn't do it on vinyl, I don't know. No, he didn't do it on vinyl. It's just CDs, and it's just like, why have you done that? It's weird.
Because he's a dick.
Because he's a dick. But it's got a new album, and I'm excited.
Well, there you go. We'll end on the fact that he's a dick. We'll end on that one. So thank you ever so much for listening. Hope you enjoyed the Station to Station. Go and listen to it. And it is literally the 50th anniversary on the 23rd, I think. So it's only next week's for us. And yeah, dig it out and... enjoy some Bowie. That's us, I think. How about yourself? All good?
I'm all good. I'm ready for my dinner now.
Well, we'll say goodbye so Danny can go and have some food and then have a nap.
I've done the nap. I haven't actually had a nap today.
Oh, bless you.
I did yesterday.
You do look
I had a
tired.
migraine yesterday, so...
All right. Well,
hard life.
Oh, yes. All right. Well, ta-ta from me.
And it's a goodbye from me.
heard it online and you think there's no rival? You want it for your collection, but have you heard it on vinyl?